After a week-long hiatus, guess who's back? Woo! We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, baby. Grand Slam from last week. Rampage Grand Slam. What occurred? What's been going on in the world of wrestling? Tonight's Dynamite. And I got stuff to say about wrestling journalism to start off the show. You're going to want to stick around for this one. Yeah! What is going on, everyone? Episode 33 of the Smells Like Wrasslin podcast. No longer the Smells Like Cologne network. This is solely the Smells Like Wrasslin network. Process in the chat. What's going on, buddy? You're tuning in for a good one, pal. Because I got a lot of stuff I want to get off my chest. Aside from this cold that I've been dealing with. Otherwise, I would have gave you guys a show last week. I do apologize. I've been under the weather lately. But we got to talk, guys. Before we talk about Grand Slam. Before we talk about Dynamite. We got to talk about wrestling journalism. Now, ever since the creation of AEW, there's been something new to talk about in the world of wrestling, all right? Before, the only real game in town was WWE. That was what brought in the viewership for any sort of podcasts like my own or, the bigger name podcasts that are out there. Anything wrestling related was all WWE because they were the only game in town. And you know what? That's smart business. I get that. That's fine. Some other podcasts started picking up more of the indies with the resurgence of the indies. You had people covering Ring of Honor. You had people covering New Japan Pro Wrestling. You had people covering Evolve and PWG. It was great. It was great. AEW happens and it blows everything wide open. They're that other competitor. It's like a second coming of WCW kind of deal. Which is awesome. Everyone's making money now. The wrestlers, people in journalism, all that shit. But I gotta say, people, the last couple of weeks, the stuff that's been reported online compared to what's actually been going on, it's like night and day. And it's disgusting. Let's talk about what happened with Malachi Black. Malachi Black cited for personal reasons he was going to step away from the company. He was granted a conditional release. And he wasn't going to be on AEW television for some time. Now, once this had happened, every single theory from he's not happy with the company, he's going to WWE, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, report. All over the place. Twitter, YouTube, all this stuff. And you got all these other sites that are out there, all these other YouTubers that do what I do. Now, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not a wrestling journalist, all right? I have a day job. I do this. When I come home, I watch Dynamite. I love talking wrestling. I like talking to people who are wrestling fans, so I do this because it's a passion of mine, all right? I don't have any scoops. I don't know any insider people. All I know are fellow fans like myself. So I know what you know. But you got these other sites and whatnot. They've built up sources. They built up contacts within the company. And they have the luxury or the benefit of being able to report on those things. And that's fine. All right? That's fine. I don't have anything against journalism. I think it's one of the bedrocks of our society. When I was younger, I wanted to be a journalist. This is pretty much the closest I get to it now. But I love it. It's great talking with you guys on this platform, so I have fun. So you got all these, and now all of a sudden everyone's got sources, and then it's unnamed sources, and then it's this, and then it's that, and we've heard from somebody, and it's speculated this, and then now all of a sudden you have stories that are coming out there about the talent in the business and the company that we all love and enjoy, and they're just getting decimated by these people. We're talking about the most far off base claims. The reason why I say all this is because Malachi Black had to come out on Instagram, and he had to set the record straight, you know? And say what you will about Punk. I'm not a big Punk fan. When he came back, everyone cheered him like whatever, you know? Like, yeah, it's good for the company, but I still can't, you know? There's something about that guy that irks me, you know? It's this chip on his shoulder that he carries with him in every company. Yeah, he uses it to fuel himself, but sometimes he just sounds like a bitter old man. So he had the same gripes with wrestling media. Talking about all this stuff about his relationship with Colt Cabana, what was going on in the company, who's feuding with you, da-da-da-da-da. And to be quite honest, in the last several years, a lot of wrestlers have come out and just flat out said that whatever that they're speaking on or you know, that's being reported is just fundamentally not true. Now this is, you know, I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of it because this poor reporting, what it's doing, it's fostering into insanity in terms of the wrestling, the fandom in the community. Now, granted, I think social media is an absolute shithole. All right, I barely consider YouTube social media. I feel like it's more of a platform than anything else. You know, I'm not making videos about how I feel and my emotions and shit like that. Like, normally people put those posts on kind of like Twitter or Instagram for people that they know who follow them, who want to, you know, like keep up with their lives or fandom and shit like that. So I'm not a fan. I haven't had a Facebook nor Twitter in over a decade. And you guys who are on it now, you see how much of a shithole it is. All right? It's a fucking battle royale out there. You have no idea who's telling the truth. You have no idea who's a liar. You have no idea who's real. You have no idea who's fake. That's why I don't understand a lot of these media personalities who interact with Twitter bots and just people with no followers who just say the stupidest shit. But you know what? You irk the wrong person on Twitter and all of a sudden they want to retweet you and then they want to put it out there. But then heaven forbid they're on the opposite side of some sort of mob mentality. Then they're like, ah. But you know, whenever they retweet something, it's pretty much open game for their acolytes to go after somebody. I will never be that. You want to know why? Because if this channel ever gets a Facebook or an Instagram, the only fucking things you're going to see on there are the or when I go live. If my fandom wants to talk to me, there's the chat. You could tune in live and I will talk to you in real time. And not in 140 characters or less. You're going to be able to see me and I'm going to be able to talk and it's going to be live and you know what? It's going to be recorded and I'm going to be held accountable. There are days where I'm going to be wrong. There are days where I'm going to be right. But I am nobody's leader. All right? I don't need acolytes. I don't need followers. I don't need supporters. You know who I like? Are fellow fans. That's it. Who just want to talk shop. I'm not here to lead anything. All right? I'm not the face of anything. But these people get high on their own supply and then all of a sudden it's madness. So now you got this thing where people are more focused on reporting things first than reporting things correctly and accurately. So now you got these guys who put their bodies on the line for us day in and day out to entertain us. And then they have to deal with bullshit online like this, especially from the fucking media. Now, the wrestling media right now I think is a fucking joke. You go to those social media scrums, all they're filled with is Marks and Meltzer, and that's pretty much it. No real journalists with actual substance. You want to know why? I hear no questions that are actually being asked that are actually have substance to them. They're all softball questions. All these guys are gobbling TK's jizz every single time that they're out there, that they're so excited that they get to be made like they're something special. And all they're doing is they're just laying down for everyone. They're Kevin Nashing it for every single person that walks up to that podium. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. No one bothered to ask in that whole entire scrum after Punk left to ask Tony Khan, hey, Tony Khan, you just had the world champion of your company bury the founders of the company, current EVPs, say that he works at a company that's run by children. You're the owner of the company. What do you have to say for that? Not one person said it. What the hell are you? What are you people there for? For a free backstage tour? If you're not going to ask questions that bring out actual answers for fans like me who don't care about gossip, I just want answers from the source. I want answers from the source. I don't want answers from your anonymous sources. I don't want answers from people I never heard of. I don't want answers based on the whims of the Twitter mob. I don't want any of that. You know what I want to see? I want to see more one-on-one interviews with wrestlers, ask these questions to them to their faces, and have them answer for themselves. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. The amount of reporting that they've done that's been inaccurate has been absolutely incredible. You could go on certain YouTube channels right now and look at their video history in regards to Malachi Black and watch 6 different videos being posted within the last 6 days, all saying something differently. This poor guy he puts his body on the line, then he has to take shit from random ass fans on Twitter, and then on top of that, the responsible wrestling media is supposed to be delivering some sort of truth and facts, and they're the ones who are the worst of all? Enough. Enough. If you guys can't report it right, don't report it at all! I don't care who's first. I want correct, factual information. And not for nothing, AEW, they should have some sort of PR team who could speak on behalf of these guys. This is a statement from the words of Malachi Black. That's it. Why do I have to hear this stuff from guys like Sapp or Meltzer? I want to hear it from the talent. And talent, if you don't want misinformation out there, get out there and speak for yourselves immediately. I'm not talking about a promo. Do something like what Malachi Black did. Go out there and just speak the truth and speak the facts. Unbelievable. The amount of irresponsibility in that industry is astounding. And you want to know why? There's no accountability. They don't work for anyone but themselves. Anonymous source here, this, that, plans change. I'm sick of it. I don't subscribe to a single one of those idiots. And to be quite honest, I don't trust people that monetize truth. Truth is priceless. Truth has it shouldn't have any sort of monetary value. You should not stand to gain personally for someone else's truth. It will always be a tainted well. Always be a tainted well. This goes for every form of media. It disgusts me. It disgusts me. If I would never report on anything. Not on this channel. We're here to talk about what we've seen with our 2 eyes. We could speculate, sure, about booking, creative decisions, but I don't give a fuck about what's going on backstage. Let the business be run by the business people. When I get home after a long work day on a Wednesday, I want to come home and I want to watch fucking wrestling. Whatever's going on backstage, I don't care. I want to watch wrestling. I want to be entertained. I want to feel the goosebumps and the thrill of the crowd. And following a build of someone and watching them go from an underdog to a champion, to climb mountains, to overcome obstacles. That's why I watch pro wrestling. But these guys, man, they're fucking vultures. They're vultures and they're leeches and they're con men and they're the modern day carnies right now. So Tony Khan, start putting real journalists in those scrums. I'm sick of seeing children asking questions. I want people with real media credentials in there. And you podcasters out there, you guys who do this like me and call yourselves journalists, start asking the right questions. Stop being scared of asking for real truth and real answers. You have the source right there. No speculation, no anonymous sources. You have the source right there. Be better. Because otherwise, I'm going to come there and I'm going to do your jobs for you. Because I'm not afraid of asking real questions if it came down to it. And sometimes asking the hard questions makes people uncomfortable and it makes them mad and they may not want to be your pal. But if you're going to be a journalist, you have a responsibility to truth. You don't have a responsibility to your favorite wrestler. You don't have a responsibility to your favorite promoter or your favorite booker or your favorite company. It's truth. And if you're going to go out there and you're going to put a dollar sign in front of it and make people pay their hard-earned money for it, it better be real. And it better be true. And it better be from the source. From the source. Not sources close to, not anonymous people near this situation. If something's going on with Kenny Omega, I want to hear it from Kenny Omega. If something's going on with Matt and Nick Jackson, I want to hear it from Matt and Nick Jackson. If something's going on with Roman Reigns, I want to hear it from Roman Reigns. Because I don't trust you anymore. Sick of it. I'm sick of it. And there's no accountability. If you guys are subscribing to any of these idiots, unsubscribe. They're dangling speculation and gossip in front of you. And you know what that does? It destroys and it eats the industry out from the inside. It eats it up. And another note to you wrestlers out there in talent, stop reading Twitter. It's not fucking real. Stop it. You want to do it for your brand, fine. But if it's making you depressed and you have to take breaks, you're on it too much. There's a real world out there. You have real fans who actually appreciate you, who pay their hard-earned money to come see you in person. You want to know the people who don't pay to see you in person are the fucking haters. They stay at home for free and they talk shit. You want to know who matters? Fans like me, who pay money to come see you in person, who spend their time and their money to come see you work your art and your craft and your trade. When I went to Grand Slam, it took me 2.5 hours to get there. Train, subway, walking. I did that. Why? Because I love this business. I love this art. And to see it being eaten up from the inside out by these goddamn parasites online, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. Be better. Or fuck off. That's it. That's what I have to say about that. It's been on my mind for a while. And it just came to a freaking boiling point, guys. It just came to a freaking boiling point. I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. You know what I will say, though? Because I think it's only fair. You know, two guys who I really appreciate and respect out there? Andrew Zarian and Rich Stambolian, who run the Mat Men podcast. I love those guys. I really do. I feel bad sometimes they, especially Andrew, he gets crap. Because, he has insider sources and scoops and whatnot. And he's gotten it wrong. And he's taken some heat. And there's definitely been some questions about his reporting. But to be quite honest, the reporting aspect aside, I think actually he got hurt recently and he hasn't really been out. So he isn't really getting a lot of those connections and stuff. But, just the way that they talk about wrestling, the way those two interact with each other, it's a freaking hoot. All right, I really do like and respect those guys. I would love to co-host with them one day. But I liked it. You know why I liked it? I liked it because they were just two fans. They're just two fans. They're two guys who like wrestling who talked about it. And they still are, honestly. Honestly, if they never reported another scoop ever again, I would be over the moon. Just keep on talking wrestling like you guys talk wrestling, guys. Big fan and a lot of respect for the both of you two. And fellow New Yorkers as well. So you gotta love that. Told you it was gonna be feisty tonight, people. All right. Grand Slam last week, Arthur Ashe Stadium. I was there live with 101 fever, I think. I was miserable in the upper deck. I did not stay for Rampage. I was just too sick. I only stayed for Dynamite. The Acclaim winning the world titles, awesome moment, well deserved. They built these guys up great. The match that they ended up having with Keith Lee and Swerve Scott at All Out, it really propelled them to. It really showed that they were ready for the moment. I thought the match was great. I honestly think they're gonna run it back one more time. I honestly think it's gonna end up in a cage match. That's my prediction. Because of the interference of Billy Gunn at the end of the match, which led to the Acclaim winning the titles, and they mentioned that tonight on Dynamite. My thoughts are that it is going to be a cage match and might be at Full Gear. They'll do the third match in a cage. I think it's been a while since we had a cage match, and I think if you're going to do a blow-off, since they've already done 2 standard matches, might as well do a third in a cage, right? That's how you blow off feuds. Moxley winning the belt, we kind of all saw that coming. I thought it was a great match. Jericho winning the Ring of Honor belt. It's my opinion that the only reason that they're putting the belt on Jericho is because they must be negotiating for a TV deal. You want to put a guy who everybody knows. You want to put someone who draws ratings, and it's proven that Jericho can pull ratings. You put the belt on him. I mean, hey, listen, I enjoyed Claudio's reign. He did a lot of matches. He faced a lot of great people. If people want to have opinions about his charisma, I get it, but I enjoy Claudio for him being Claudio. He fights. He's not a talker. He's a fighter. And some guys, I don't need to be talkers. Some guys, they're entertaining enough for the ring as fighters. And Claudio's that guy. He put on some incredible matches. The match that he had with Jericho was no different. A fantastic match. I really do enjoy what Jericho's been doing lately. I feel like he just wants to wrestle the best wrestlers. I think he wants to prove that not only is he a great sports entertainer, but he's also a great professional wrestler. And he's already proved it in WWE. I mean, Jericho was an undisputed champion, a heavyweight champion. He's done it all there. I'm pretty sure he's the Grand Slam champion. All right? Now he's doing it all right now. He's fighting guys. He was fighting in New Japan, fighting guys like Naito and Tanahashi. I think he fought Evil. I don't know if he fought Okada. Fighting all of these like amazing wrestlers now. Danielson, Bandito. He was fighting Cesaro. He fought Kingston. He fought Punk. Did he fight Punk? I can't remember. But you know, like the quality of wrestlers that he's fighting right now is incredible. So I definitely feel like the push that he's doing right now is to fight all these great wrestlers. Now he's fighting these great indie wrestlers also, like Bandito. Awesome. The only problem I have with that is that if you're going to start having him defend the belt, and they pushed Bandito hard. They pushed him online. They pushed him on television. You want to know why? Because they knew he was relatively unknown to the mainstream audience. And also, there's zero build to this. Jericho only won the belt last week, and all of a sudden, boom, on the internet, we're going to announce that Bandito's a champ. This has been my problem with AEW for a while. Compelling challengers make compelling champions. Because if you're not building a compelling story with your challenger, why do I want to care about seeing him fight the champion? This is what happened with Hangman. They didn't build any worthwhile challenges for him except for Bryan Danielson. And then after that, CM Punk. They tried. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. But you know what the thing is? They don't have enough TV time to tell the stories that they need to tell. They don't have enough time to build up a challenger for each champion in the multiple divisions that they have. I mean, let's think about it. They have the AEW title, the TNT title, the All-Atlantic title, the Trios titles, the TNT belt, the women's belt. Am I missing one? The FTW belt. They're missing a lot. You know what I mean? Like, they have too many belts that require too many worthwhile storylines to be built on too little television. That will be AEW's problem until they add another 60 minutes minimum to their television programming. ROH needs its own show. An hour and a half, 2 hours. The pressure release valve needs to happen. and it's going to happen with a television deal. But all the stuff that's going on with Discovery and Warner Brothers, who knows? But they need this. They need this bad. But I will say this, though. The quality of shows that they've been putting out the last couple of weeks hasn't been bad. I mean, Grand Slam was a great show. The Dynamites that happened the past couple of weeks were a great show. I feel like the company bounced back from that whole All Out debacle. All Out was a great show. It was what happened in the moments after All Out that turned everything to shit. Grand Slam Rampage, I watched on television. The match between Starks and Hobbs was incredible. I love Ricky Starks. Dude is great. I love that dude. And I'm seeing him more and more on television, and the more Ricky Starks I see on television, the happier I am. And that means they're building him towards something. What they're building him towards, I don't know. Is he going to be the next All-Atlantic champion? I don't know. Is this going to be a coming-out crowning party for Powerhouse Hobbs? I love Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs is one of the most improved guys in that roster. He's great on the mic. He looks phenomenal. He's awesome in the ring. Big Jack Diesel motherfucker. I love Powerhouse Hobbs. I think he's great. I think the sky's the limit for that guy. If I were Tony Khan, pay that motherfucker money when his contract's up. Pay that dude his money because he's going to be a big-time player. That guy's a future champion written all over him, in my opinion. Saraya debuted, formerly known as Paige from WWE. I'm curious to see how she's going to be in the ring. If she's going to be in the ring, I know that she left the business for quite a long time because of her injury. I don't know whether or not she's cleared to compete, but I would hope that if you're going to give her that much television time and she's going to be out there and you're going to put her out there and be a name, I assume she's going to be in the ring. Because if she's going to be working more of a backstage deal, I wouldn't have made it that big of a deal. Or I would have been very clear as to what her role is. But she's getting into promo fights with Britt Baker and other women on the roster, so you don't take out a condom unless you're ready to fuck. So I'm kind of obviously she's talking smack to all these women. I'm assuming they're gonna go and they're gonna fight it out in the ring. So we'll see. MJF killing it. It's obvious the road is going to be MJF versus Mox. When that's going to happen, I don't know. Oh, and the Mets win, baby! Woo! Anywho, sorry. What was I saying? Fuck. He was cutting, MJF was cutting promos on Moxley well before Mox won the Undisputed title, so it was clear that that's where it was heading. When this is going to happen, I don't know. Is he going to cash it in like a coward and win in MJF fashion? I don't know. Is he going to fight him in a one-on-one straight-up match? I don't know. Is he going to beat him clean? I don't know. But the intrigue is keeping me going. MJF is a compelling character. Moxley has been incredible. A way better champion than Punk. Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about tonight's show, shall we? How we doing in the chat? We live? We good? I got some viewers here. Oh, Sarah, thank you. I tell you, I'm passionate about this shit. I'm passionate about it. Especially what was going on with that wrestling media bullshit. I'm passionate about it. Process, I hope you're still here. Hope you're enjoying the show. So we got 2 title matches tonight on tonight's broadcast. Toni Storm defends the interim AEW Women's World Championship against Serena Deeb. They're just going to keep on throwing women out in front of Toni Storm, I guess. Until Thunder Rosa comes back. But I think Toni Storm should beat Thunder Rosa when she comes back, and I think she should just go on and be the champ. I think, let's pull the trigger on Toni Storm. Let's go. I think Thunder Rosa is better when she's hunting something down or when she's having, a good blood feud with somebody. She had an awesome match with Britt. And that didn't have anything to do with a title until they had that cage match. But she still had an awesome match. The second title match, Chris Jericho defending his newly won Ring of Honor World Championship against Bandito. He was a former world champion. They have Saraya speaking in her first on-camera comments in AEW because she didn't do any promo at Grand Slam. MJF is going to speak. Mox fights Juice Robinson in a title eliminator match. And if Robinson wins, I think he gets a match at a future New Japan event I think that they were holding. I think Capital Punishment in Washington, D.C. or I don't know. Something like that. Tony Khan was going to put out video packages on Robinson and Bandito, I guess to catch people up with who they are and what they've accomplished. Yeah, I mean, you got to, right? When you have no build, you got to put a fuck ton of video packages so people could be like, oh, maybe I should care about this guy. That would be one thing I would ask Tony. If I was at one of those things, I'd be like, Tony, listen, what's going on with the booking situation? Are you still the only one that's writing the show? Do you feel like being that you have so many wrestlers and so much television time, you think you should have writers assigned to pretty much all your main guys so that storylines could be created? Bring those storylines up to Tony and see. I know he's got an open door policy, but someone else has got to be able to put time and focus on auxiliary storylines. That would be what I would ask. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And if not, who's on his short list to be a writer on this show? Who would you like to see sign with the company? What kind of free agents in the corporate and in the creative stratosphere does he want? I mean, we've seen how much he loves talent and how he goes out there and signs people that he wants. But what about the people who run the show behind the scenes alongside you? Who are you building? Who are you signing? That's what I want to know. Show starts out with the Jericho Appreciation Society coming out to celebrate Jericho's Ocho celebration, being an 8-time world champion. They all had purple outfits. The ring set up ridiculously like for a kid's birthday party. Luigi Primo's there, tossing pizza behind him. The whole bunch of stacks of pizza with the Jericho Appreciation Society logos on them. They got Daddy Magic. Said he put in the call for Luigi Primo. That got a big reaction. Apparently he's famous online. He said, but the pizza wasn't for them. It was for New York. Anna Jay came out, said the fans don't get pizza. They gotta get rid of Anna Jay. Like, what are they doing already? She can't cut promos. Like, she could barely wrestle. Like, put her back in the Nightmare Factory. Have her learn how to fight, train. Have her fight on the indies. Send her to freaking Mexico or to Japan to learn how to be a wrestler. Or have her talk to guys, hopefully Jericho could mold her into something because I am just not feeling Anna JAS. I will choke you out. I will choke you out. You were a jobber in the women's division and now you're with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like, I still don't care. And all your matches are on Dark and Elevation, so I even care less. They need to do something with her. Either do something with her or there's other people who deserve that screen time who are women in that company. Jericho says he's already the greatest Ring of Honor champion of all time. Never defended it, only held it for 7 days. He's the greatest champion of all time. Jericho's insane. He calls himself the most honorable man, the most watched champion in Ring of Honor history. He calls this era the Ring of Jericho. And he said Bandito's going to get the rematch. He put over Bandito, saying he was one of the greatest luchadors in the world. Then he went over and he put over Daniel Garcia, who had a sour puss on his face the whole time. He gave him a gift. It was a purple bucket hat. Garcia threw it down. He punched Luigi Primo in the face and knocked him out. Told Jericho he's had enough. Jericho stopped him before Garcia could say he wanted to leave the JAS, saying if he makes the wrong decision, they have no choice but to take him out. So he put the threat out there. Jericho asks if Garcia is a sports entertainer or a pro wrestler. He puts it out there right now. Before Garcia could respond, Danielson's music hits and Bryan Danielson comes out. Comes out with William Regal, who said the funniest shit today. He said he told Excalibur that he's like a Rice Krispies treat and would snap, crackle, and pop him all night. The crush that William Regal has on Excalibur is the greatest romance in wrestling right now, next to freaking Sami Zayn and the goddamn Bloodline. That is just some funny shit. Danielson said, hey, listen, I respect you're a grown man. I respect your decision to go wherever you want. You want to train with the Jericho Appreciation Society? You want to be a part of their faction? Fine. You want to come over to the Blackpool Combat Club? You want to train with us? Fine. Jericho interrupts Danielson, basically saying that Garcia belongs to him. Garcia got in his face, saying that he doesn't belong to anybody. Started randomly listing all this shit that he thinks could be entertaining. Some of it was fucking ridiculous. He said, I'm going to take a pizza and throw it on the ground. Would that be entertaining? Took a pizza, throws it on the ground. He's like, maybe if I woke up Luigi Primo and we spun some dough, that'd be entertaining. How about me and Justin Roberts fighting a tag match? How would that be? That'd be entertaining. Then he finally ended up and was like, what if me and Danielson teamed up against your boy Sammy Guevara and yourself? Would that be entertaining? Matt Menard gets in the face of Danielson and Garcia, saying you should drop him right then and there. Danielson said, good news. Tony Khan said I could have an open contract. I could fight anybody who wants to fight me right here, right now. And you just said you want to fight. So let's fucking go. So sure enough, after the break, Daddy Magic Mike, Matt Menard versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Danielson obviously soundly defeats him in a solid match. There was interference from the JAS, but you had Claudio Castagnoli come out with the save and picked up Jeff Parker and pretty much firemen's carried him out of the arena. We had a brief video package from the AEW Control Center highlighting Jon Moxley and Juice Robinson. They stated that Robinson was one of the very few people who have beat Moxley this year, which is true. He beat him for, I believe, the United States Championship. And Robinson, if he does it again tonight, he gets a future AEW title shot, I think, next week. They had a recap video of the MJF Wheeler Yuta spat that happened at Grand Slam. They pretty much got in each other's faces, and MJF dropped Yuta with help from the Firm, and then assaulted Tony Schiavone. MJF's a real prick for touching Tony. Apparently, they were supposed to have a package, a promo from MJF, but it was Yuta that came out. Yuta storms into the ring. He did all right. I mean, the guy doesn't talk on the mic very much. I don't expect greatness from everyone on the mic on their first try on live television in front of a crowd. But he did all right. His voice cracked a little bit, but it was pretty good. Yuta said, "Hey, listen, I don't have a problem with you and your cronies did last week. He's been hit harder by way better men because Yuta got knocked out by MJF with the Dynamite Diamond ring. But what he didn't appreciate was that he put his hands on Tony Schiavone, who he said has done more for AEW than MJF has ever done. Basically, it was just like, all you do is hide behind your microphone. You can't hang with me in the ring." He basically went through he tried to do like the ending of 8 Mile, where he basically tried to get out all the insults and disses that were going to happen to him from MJF off the bat so he could come out with no ammunition. But it's fucking MJF. MJF has unlimited ammo. The dude's on another level. Comes out wearing a Mets jersey because obviously MJF salt of the earth from the most wonderful, the happiest place on earth, the most wonderful place in the world, Long Island. So obviously he's a Met fan because he's not a fucking idiot. Basically said, Yuta's from Philly, the place you can't afford the place you want to live if you can't afford to live in New York. MJF asked how Schiavone was doing, called him a fat old prick. MJF put over Yuta a little bit, saying, "Hey, listen, we wrestled on the Indies, we've wrestled up and down North America. You're one of the best that's out there." But he had to spank him on the microphone last week, and he was gonna spank him again this week. And Yuta cut him off and basically said, "If you don't want to fight in the ring, I'll leave you in a pool of blood right on Broad Street." And then told him bad things happen in Philly, and the crowd went nuts. You know, Yuta's obviously from Philly. He went after MJF, but MJF had 2 members of the Firm come out and back him up, Austin and Colton Gunn, wearing dress shoes, and they were wearing like no, dress shoes and no socks. Whatever. They were wearing some weird shit. MJF, he's like, listen, you want to wrestle me? You can wrestle me next week in Washington. But he didn't deserve to hear his catchphrase, so they had the Gun say it. Did Yuta do okay on the mic? I think he did okay. He could, obviously, it wasn't bad. It's not like Anna Jay bad, but it was good. So, now they're building a match. They're building a match. Building a match. That's storytelling. So, obviously, Yuta's not going over MGF. MGF's not going to lose until... He's not going to lose until he's done with the company or until he drops that belt. But so they're gonna fight it out. Fight it out next week, I guess. They did on the video promoting Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal, which should be an incredible match. These guys have been feuding back and forth with Jay Lethal's crew for a while, so I'm very excited to see that match. We had AEW World Championship Eliminator match. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley defeats Juice Robinson in a really hard-hitting match. I remember when Juice Robinson was CJ Parker. And I remember how he broke Kevin Owens' nose on Owens' first time in his debut show in NXT. I thought that was great. They had Regal on commentary, who's freaking hysterical. They go back and forth. We got cannonballs. We had going through the table. We had people going through chairs. They were beating the shit out of each other. And eventually, Mox got him in an armbar and submitted him. MJF was watching the match. What is this? Yeah. So then, MJF was watching the whole match. When the match was over, Hangman power walks to the ring wearing the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. He's wearing these tight-ass jeans with an embroidered like flower on them. I don't know what the fuck was on them. And a tight-ass Dolly Parton shirt. This guy's got a freaking, I don't know who's dressing this motherfucker, but they gotta change it up because he looks goddamn ridiculous. He's supposed to come down as this tough guy, fighting one of the toughest guys in AEW, let alone pro wrestling. And he's dressed like a goddamn, I don't know what he's dressed up as. But, they gotta change his look, in my opinion. I think he needs to, look like a cowboy. I don't know what the fuck he looks like right now. MJF interrupted before they came to blows. Basically, he said it doesn't matter because Hangman won the Grand Slam Battle Royal, which gives him a title shot. So MJF basically was like, listen, I don't give a shit which of you two wins. I could cash in as soon as you guys are done. And I'm going to take you out. But as he's saying this, Yuta shows up behind him and starts beating the shit out of him inside of the suite amongst the fans. The security goes, they pull Yuta off, so this is definitely setting up for the eventual match of MJF and Wheeler Yuta. Better happen on fucking television. Whew. They did another Bandito, video package, kind of boosting him up, saying he was a champ in Ring of Honor, and they pretty much try to build him up as much as they can, so people could stay tuned in and give a shit about this match. They did all right. So this is the Saraya segment, and they do a video package from her coming out last week. Big big crowd in Philly, big wrestling crowd. So when she came out, she got a good pop. She says she's damaged. She's not broken. She's going to create change in the women's division. She is the revolution. She says AEW is officially her house. She wants all the ladies to come out. So they had Toni Storm, Athena, Madison Rayne, Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale, blah, blah, blah. Saraya goes and she puts over Toni Storm, saying she's utilized to her fullest potential and the best AEW women's champ they ever had. That kind of got a yay and a, some people were about it, some people weren't. Britt Baker interrupted with Rebel and Jamie Hayter and Penelope Ford. Baker called Saraya nothing but a catchphrase, and then did her DMD, whatever. She said she's put her neck on the line for AEW, unlike Saraya's. Hers is strong enough to handle it. So obviously, she's going. She's saying that she could work through injuries. Obviously, Thunder Rosa's not in action because of an injury, so she's gonna go after everyone for being for their injuries and shit. I mean, granted, Britt wrestled with a broken nose. She's wrestled with a broken wrist. She carried that women's division when she was champ. When she won the belt, it was a big deal. People gave a shit about that thing. People gave a shit about it so much that when Thunder Rosa won, it was a big deal. People gave a shit about it. That's what I'm saying. Build up your challengers. You make worthwhile champions, and then and that simultaneously makes the titles become important. She did some cheap shit about making fun of Saraya's name. Sorry, I said Baker's name rhymes with a word. It got bleeped out. Taz loved it. People chanted for Jamie Hayter, who Baker said is going to get a shot at Toni Storm after Serena Deeb. And then Deeb comes out and they basically were going to fight it out. That was going to be the interim match. Toni Storm ends up defeating Serena Deeb to win the AEW, to retain the AEW Women's Championship. Match was fine. I honestly am hoping one day that Serena Deeb wins the belt. I honestly think that the promo that she cut in her feud, one of the best, I think, feuds that Thunder Rosa had in her championship reign was the one against Serena Deeb. Because Serena Deeb cut this amazing promo in front of Dustin Rhodes that I thought was fucking incredible, chronicling all the shit that she had to go through in WWE, when they made her get breast implants, when they made her shave her head, all this bullshit. And the fact that she's coming back right now and whooping ass, I thought that was a great story. And I think she's a worthwhile champion, and hopefully she holds gold in this company sooner rather than later. Because she could cut a promo, and she's a damn good wrestler. She's a compelling character. Backstage, Shivani was with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. They said that next week on Dynamite is National Scissoring Day, which is going to be great. They have an open challenge for the titles on Rampage. Keith Lee interrupts, said Billy Gunn was the reason they won the titles, and that Swerve wasn't around. He was disgruntled about it, and that they were carried. So I honestly think that this is going to lead to a third match between the two teams, once and for all, to decide. I think a cage match will prevent Daddy Ass from interfering with the Acclaimed, and I could totally see a mic drop from the top of the cage. So, I mean, the story's written itself, people. If that doesn't happen, I don't know what they're doing. Butcher and Blade were in an argument with Private Party backstage. Andrade was all pissed off trying to calm them all down, and basically Jose, the assistant, comes out and says that if Private Party doesn't make nice with Butcher and Blade, they have to ship up or ship out. Matt Hardy interrupts after they had gone and said, listen, he'd be there for Private Party if they wanted to join forces again. So I'm curious as to whether or not Andrade and Butcher and Blade are going to become a trio and they're going to fight Matt Hardy and Private Party. I mean, they had Matt Hardy with them once before. They were good guys. They had him with them, and then they changed over to heels. Now they're with him again. I mean, until they figure out what's going on with Jeff Hardy, you got to have something for Matt to do, right? So, and hey, listen, I want to see more Private Party. We see a lot of tag teams. I don't see enough of them. When are they going to start getting built? I like to see Private Party versus the Acclaimed. I think that'd be a phenomenal match. I think you should start building up Private Party on television, start making them worthwhile challengers, having them fight against the Acclaimed. Two homegrown AEW, tag teams fighting one another, guys who have been with the company since the beginning. I mean, Private Party got that shocking win against the Young Bucks in one of the first episodes of Dynamite. I want to see more Private Party. Let's start giving these guys some worthwhile television time and matches. Ricky Starks defeats Eli Isam. That's pretty much it. Real quick match. Ricky Starks still on television, which is great. I'm curious what they're building him up for. But like I said, the more Ricky I see, the happier I am. Excalibur did a rundown for the card for next week. John Silver versus Rush. The Acclaimed defend their... Oh, shit. How did I miss this? This is what happens when, I go to the bathroom. The Acclaimed are going to defend their titles against Butcher and the Blade and Private Party. So it's going to be a three-way for the belts. That should be fun. And that's going to be on Rampage? oh, Rampage should be fun. But still, I would like to see a one-on-one match between Private Party and the Acclaim. They're going to have Willow Nightingale versus Jamie Hayter. Obviously, Jamie Hayter's going to win that one. I'm still not a fan of Willow Nightingale's gimmick. It's just not my cup of tea. I mean, there are people who love it. I'm just not a fan. Hook is going to appear on Rampage. That's pretty much his show. And Lee Moriarty fights Fuego del Sol. Dynamite anniversary. The 3-year anniversary. MGF versus Wheeler Yuta. We got National Scissoring Day with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. Luchasaurus is going to be in action. Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal. And we got Bryan Danielson and the ROH Pure Champion Daniel Garcia versus ROH World Champion Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. That's the lineup for next week. The show caps off with the ROH title on the line. Chris Jericho against Bandito. Thought it was a great match. I mean, aside from there not being too much of a build, I mean, I'm personally familiar with Bandito because I watch Ring of Honor, so I enjoyed the match immensely, and I understand what they're doing with Jericho, so it fit what they're doing. For someone who doesn't know indie wrestling or guys like Bandito, you might be a little bit like, who is this guy? But for me, the match had history. I thought it was great. I thought this was a solid show. Jericho wins at the end. And pretty much said, cut this promo saying the Ring of Jericho has begun. He said he's going to desecrate the legacy of ROH. He challenges Bryan Danielson for the October 12th show in Toronto. He said he's going to beat every former ROH champion, commentator, referee, and ring announcer. And then he gives Bobby Cruise the Judas effect. Bobby Cruise obviously is the official ring announcer for Ring of Honor. He does all of the announcing for their matches on AEW television as well. I think that this is a great show. I didn't know that Juice Robinson was a free agent. I'd love to see him as a part of AEW. I think they could do a lot with him. Bandito is fantastic. I like the collection of luchadors that they have in AEW. I think they could put on hella awesome lucha matches. Those could be matches in themselves, you know, a little division within a division. I'm not saying create a belt only for luchadors, but the lucha matches they could have with guys like Phoenix, Penta, Roosh, Andrade, Bandito. I mean, come on, man. I mean, the lucha division in AEW is stacked with talent. I'm excited. You know, it was a great show. A little side note: I watched SmackDown on Friday. SmackDown. I've been literally watching SmackDown consistently. Yes, I do watch WWE television consistently on a weekly basis. I actually watched Raw in its entirety. Raw was actually not bad. For a 3-hour fucking slog, it was not bad at all. They had a great match. Gargano and Owens had a good tag match. I think, who did they fight against? They fought against Alpha Academy. Thank you! It was a good show. WWE's doing, they ain't doing too bad, man. They're getting it together slowly but surely. NXT is still dog shit, but everything else is getting together slowly but surely. I mean, SmackDown I love because I get to see the stuff. I mean, the stuff that's going on with the Bloodline is top notch. You know? The stuff that's going on with Drew and Cross is great. The stuff that's going on with Edge and Judgment Day is awesome. A lot of great stuff going on. Stuff with Kevin Owens, Gargano and Theory. Great stuff. I'm telling you, man. What a great time to be a fan. What a great time. I'm telling you, people, listen to me. You will enjoy the product a lot much when you just talk with other people who enjoy it. All right? And not on the internet. Places like here, in this chat, with great people who love the sport, who love the art of professional wrestling. All right? We're just here to chat about it. Scoops be damn. I don't care. I don't give a shit about I don't want to be an insider. I don't want to be a reporter. I'm a fan. And a fan is the best position to be in. Why? Because you're the one who sits there and gets entertained. And I love to be entertained, especially by professional wrestling. I want to thank you guys for watching the show. I appreciate it. Sarah, thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you watching. Sarah does not watch wrestling, but she watches this podcast. Thank you very, very much. Process, brother, I'm proud of you. You've gone through some shit. You went through a year, and you came out the other side, and I'm proud of you, buddy. You keep doing what you're doing, all right? You stay strong. You stay strong. For whoever else was in the who was viewing, who's not active in the chat, I thank you for watching and being a part of this journey with me. there will be, so I have an announcement to make. We will be beginning a new show on this network. Myself and Jonathan Ortiz, who is running another podcast. He's been a buddy of mine for a very long time. We've done a lot of podcasts together. He's done a lot of podcasts on a lot of different topics. He and I are going to be going on a journey together with you all to chronicle NXT Black and Gold from the beginning all the way to Stand and Deliver of last year when the Black and Gold era ended and they went into NXT 2.0. We will be going through every episode weekly. It will be on Sundays. We don't know the exact time yet, starting in November, so keep on watching this channel for more updates. But we will have a new show and a new co-host here. We're working out the logistics and everything else, but he and I are committed to this. You will actually be able to see this show on his network very soon. So we are expanding, partnering with other podcasters that are out there. Him and I are going to be doing a show that is going to be specifically on streaming content, stuff that you're seeing on HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, Peacock, Amazon Prime, all of that. If there's stuff worth watching, him and I are going to be talking about it. So that's going to be great. We are hopefully going to foster a more solidified relationship with Boone Syndication, the guys over there, Dan and Anthony, for some gaming content. So you might be seeing me there as well. If you guys haven't subscribe to Boone Syndication. They're good guys over there. Definitely check them out. So a lot of things are moving and shaking here, people. A lot of things are moving and shaking. So again, I want to thank you all. Oh, and again, Spotify, look up Evan, EVVAN. New content on there. They are a very, very talented musician that I have the pleasure of being very, very good mates with. So support their content. Fantastic, fantastic artists. You will not be disappointed. Subscribe. Hit their songs on repeat as much as you can, and support a talented New York musician. I want to thank you guys all for coming out tonight. And I will see you next week with another Dynamite report. Thank you all very much. Take care.
Been feeling kinda